it's crazy. Yes, OG Vault, welcome to the show. We got the cryptid tales, skeleton in a suit. MoKnowz never fails. We talk elections, UFOs, and paranormal trails. Fast tech, NFTs, catch the latest cryptos. When comments to conspiracies, we dropping knowledge daily. Photo finish, horse racing, we keep it hype, you feel me? VV digital drops, market values never hazy. Stay tuned to OG Vault, the alpha here is crazy.
Removed for terms of service violation. I was like, goddamn.
What's up, everybody? I'm sorry. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. We haven't had a whole lot of technical difficulties for a while. And it might have broken my chat. Oh my goodness. Let me try it. Let me test the chat, see if it's broke. I don't see Alejandro's chat in here. Plus, we'll wait for a couple people. Yeah. All right, let me fix that real quick.
Come on back, chat.
While we wait for people to come back. Sorry. It's my computer's fault. I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything. It's just... Alright, I'm going to fix the chat. We'll be right back. Oops. Alright, let's see if that worked on my chat. I don't think it did. We might have to just redo that. Looks like people are coming back. What's up, everybody? Sorry. We got a little bit of technical difficulties. I gotta do this the hard way. It's gonna take a couple seconds. I want my chat to work, though. Be right back.
Doing a tough job, chat. Remember.
Sorry, everybody. We're back. We are back, baby. Let's go. Luckily, we haven't gotten anything too important. We were just talking about Dora the Explorer as our conspiracy theory for this week. And then we talked a little bit about Wimby getting injured and the Eagles fake story about not going to the White House. My bad. C-Spell says, I swear Thompson had the same problem with the Pistons. I don't know that name. I don't know that player. But yeah, all the big guys seem to always have a problem carrying that weight, especially on their knees. I don't know. Yeah, I think the chat is working. Thank you.
Well, I remember one of my favorite players of all time, Penny Hardaway.
Yep, he had the same problem.
He had a growth spurt.
Yep.
After he hit like the NBA and shit, and it just completely fucked his old knees up.
Yep. Yeah, and I
had
think
a hard time even like walking after a while.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of like Grant Hill's another one that would have been maybe one of the GOATs, but he had too many injury problems. Sorry about that, Denny OC. Alejandro's back. Rashab is ready to go. Denny OC. Yep. Thank you, Denny OC, for letting people know. All right. I guess we're ready to move on to the next topic after I got rid of all of our viewers. Sorry about that. At least we got the homies here. The OGs are here. Let's move on to politics. Because, like always, especially these days, I got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to politics, bro. Oh, my goodness. I'm curious to...
Never ends.
I'm curious to see what Mo's thinking about his pick right now. But all right, we're going to get to that first. Let me go ahead and break down our topics. I'm going to show you a couple of things that have happened. Hopefully, is there anybody in the chat? Let me know. Is there anybody in the chat who's from Germany or speaks German? Because I need something translated. I'm going to show that in a second. But first, I'm going to show the hack that happened, I think, yesterday at Housing and Urban Development, a government building, a big government building. Somebody hacked into their computers, and they put this on the screen. And here we go. Pop up. So yeah, you can see on the screen it's an AI video of Donald Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet, and it says, "Long live the real king." So some people speculate that maybe it was one of Elon's guys. Maybe it was Big Balls or somebody, one of them hackers that got in there. And this is really a message to Trump from Elon himself, because nobody knows still to this day, it's been over 24 hours, who it was that hacked it and put that image up on the Housing and Urban Development government screens. I thought it was hilarious. What do you think, Mo?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have to have a little bit of a sense of humor, right? I
Yeah.
mean, the scary part is not the video, and the problem is not the video, but the problem would be is how would somebody get easy access to the government computer, which, you know, would open up a whole nother can of worms. But, I mean, the video itself, it's pretty fucking funny, no? I
Pretty
mean,
funny to me. Some people were not amused by it. Of course, all the Elon super fans were not happy about it. But that's a good question. Like, how easy is it to hack and access these government computers? Because I'm sure they have some data on there that we don't want to have accessed. So, especially
Well,
housing and urban development.
if they're using TP-Link routers, it could be very easy, because apparently there was a huge vulnerability security loophole, which, again, I mean, you know, coming from China, we can't be surprised. But yeah, they were actually talking about banning the sale of them and not allowing, definitely prohibiting the use of them in like government buildings.
Oh, really?
But they said they were going to stop selling them. They'll never like fully ban TP-Link, because you can't just like go into people's houses and remove the router.
Right.
But you know, they can stop selling them and stuff like that. But maybe they had, you know, TP-Link router. It is probably the most widely used outside of like Netgear.
They need to have better security, man. I think they need more funding to have good security. All the good security people are working in the private industry. That's because the government's so underfunded. But we're going the opposite direction
We
right
got to
now.
build America. We got to have American-made routers, bro. Can't be buying this shit from China.
I'm okay with that. That sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah, I don't like the idea of getting them from China.
That's what I'm saying, you know, and but that's the whole thing, right? Build them here. It's cheaper to build, less, you know, cost to the consumer, right?
Right.
And we get American-made product, and we don't have to worry about, well, I want to say we don't have to worry about people spying on us, because I'm sure our government would love to do that too and has. But
Guaranteed.
you know, hello DARPA, you know what I mean? But that's where we got the Alexa from. You know what I mean? It's like they were from spying on people, being like, "Hey, what if we just put this in grandma's house and let her talk to her grandkids?" Like,
Just put a microphone in their house and just listen to everything they talk about.
Yeah, but that was started off as like a government project with DARPA, and then it turned into Amazon Alexa. Which there you go. But my point is, you know, you can't just have these, you know, TP-Link routers installed because like, oh, they cost us, you know, 10% of the price. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, these are some of the risks you take when you save a buck.
Yeah. It's vulnerability. Shout out to Woody's in the chat. What's up, Woody?
They are good routers, though. TP-Link is a very good router. I may or may not be using one as we speak, just saying.
Busted.
Well, I have one, you know, I have it patched. I use a different BIOS firmware. I upgrade it, but
Nice.
yeah. But
All
anyway,
right.
yeah, so.
Before I move on to the next video and the topic, our politics topic for today, this is one I didn't mention or I didn't make a graphic for. This is a good question. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Danielle C asks, what about Fort Knox? Fort Knox, yay or nay? Is basically what he's asking, and he's talking about the fact that Elon Musk and Donald Trump say that they're going to audit Fort Knox and make sure all the gold is there. And there's never been a public, or I don't know if official is the right word, but there's never been a public audit of Fort Knox since the 1960s or 70s, like a long, long time. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that, which president? I think it was Eisenhower. A lot of people think Eisenhower stole the money, stole the gold. A lot
Yeah, I
of
heard
people,
that one.
A lot of people think that during World War II, the gold was brought over from Europe for us to hold it because they were afraid it was going to get taken by Hitler. So a lot of that had to go back to them, and we don't actually have as much as we say we have. And then other people say that we secretly loaned this money out to Europe and other times. So the real question is, if they get there and the gold ain't there, or there's not quite as much as there's supposed to be, there's half as much or less, what does that do for the price of gold, and what does that do for the price of Bitcoin?
Whew. I feel like it could go two ways on gold, right? Be like, oh, now there's less of a supply. Like, if you don't know where it is, it could be a supply shock. But on the flip side, be like, well, you can't have the value go up too high because if gold ever shows up, it's just going to tank the price, right? So,
True.
but to me, I just see it like, what is it? Travolta from what was it Reservoir Dogs? No, you know the meme where he fucking walks in, looks around.
I know Reservoir Dogs really well. One of my favorite movies. I'm not sure which meme though.
No, it's not Reservoir Dogs. It's the fucking name of the movie. I can't think of it right now. The Travolta movie with the big meme where he walks in,
Pulp
looks
Fiction.
around. Pulp Fiction. Thank you, Jesus Christ. I always want to say Get Shorty. That is not the movie. It is a good movie though. But yeah, so to me that'd be funny if like Trump and them just walked in. It's like, where's the gold? We came in here looking for gold. There's no gold.
You're gonna find crap. I think there was actually a time when Mitch McConnell and Treasury head Steve Mnuchin. Do you remember Steve Mnuchin? The dude looked like John Oliver with Down syndrome, but had the hottest wife in the world. Like he was the nerdiest looking dude in America. Yeah, Steve Mnuchin. They actually went to Fort Knox to apparently audit it, but they only looked in like one room, so people aren't considering that a complete audit. So hopefully everything's there. Like Denny OC said, I think Canada had the same situation when they found out that they had no gold reserve. It killed their dollar, and I think it could do the same thing to the U.S. dollar, which is already has some issues with going up against BRICS and everything. Finding out that the gold's gone could hurt the value of the dollar. Shout out to Big A's in the building. What's up, Big A? But if the dollar gets
that would
hurt,
be phase two. But that would be phase two, what we used to talk about all the time on this show and our other shows, right? Where it's like the other world powers want to create their digital currency and they want to push out the dollar and they want to weaken it, right? This has been a plan of theirs for God knows how long.
oh yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, that would be the worst, worst case for us. As far as Bitcoin, though, maybe to me, I feel like it should strengthen the power of Bitcoin at that point.
Yeah.
If people are like, hey, you want to know where all the Bitcoin is? Blockchain, traceable, bam, there it is.
oh,
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I think if that did happen, that would help the price of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin needs some
The help
right
we
now,
can get
but-
right now, because, man, we're going to get to that too, but holy shit.
But also the fact that Trump and World Liberty Financial is stacking up all this crypto makes me think that maybe they have some inside information about whether it be Fort Knox or anything that's going to happen in the future, that crypto is going to be a big deal. They're already getting into it. So, I mean, I think it's smart to get a little crypto right now, even though the prices are going down. Could be the best time to buy it. Maybe you're buying on the bottom.
Buy the dip. But
Buy the dip.
what if, because this is how it would go down, right? If Trump and them, open up Fort Knox and they go in, there's no gold. Do you think anybody's going to believe that? They'd be
No.
like, all the headlines, Trump stole the gold,
Yes,
wants
that's what I would
pump,
say.
wants to
100%.
pump crypto.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, it would be some of the wildest headlines. And some would be fucking good. But he's probably praying that there's fucking gold in there
That
if
could
they go
freaking
in.
trigger a civil war. I mean, that's a big freaking deal. Daniel C says BRICS is primarily gold backed. He thinks. I'm not 100% sure about that either, but if it is, that's probably a good idea for them to do. Once again, if anybody in the chat speaks German, I'm about to play this video that came out after their election. AfD was the party, a lot of people call it the Nazi party in Germany, that Elon Musk was backing really hard, and they only got like 8.5% of the vote, so they got beat really bad. And there was this video that went viral in Germany. I don't know exactly what they're saying, but I like it.
Elon Musk, fick dein Mars-Projekt. Scheiß kalt und Arsch weit weg.
Gotta have that
Hab
Google
Brandenburg
Translate up.
entdeckt. Bianchi Bikes, Future Flex. Elon Musk, fick dein Mars-Projekt. Scheiß kalt und Arsch weit weg. Hab Brandenburg entdeckt. Bianchi Bikes,
Oh,
Future Flex.
German installed. Fuck.
I don't know, but it's a catchy tune, cute girl in there, and I think they don't like Elon Musk, so I'm loving it. I was hoping somebody, because I know we got a lot of people in Europe that hang out with Vivi and sometimes come into the live stream, so I thought maybe somebody would be able to translate, but I think they're just pretty much cussing out Elon Musk and being excited that the AfD did not win. Caitlin Clark 101 NFT just sold for 20K about an hour ago.
Damn.
I saw how much her rookie card sold for the other day, like 70K. I'm like, geez, I gotta start buying some WNBA cards. I didn't even know that was a thing, but yeah, she's hot. I mean, yeah, price wise.
What does Angel Reese's stuff sell for? Probably a fraction of the cost.
Wasn't she the rookie of the year? Y'all be hating on Angel Reese. She got her own meal at McDonald's now, bro.
Bro, yeah, okay. First of all right, it's actually not a bad meal, but on second thought, bro, you can't give her all these stats when she's missing her own damn shots, getting the rebounds and
A
putting that
rebound
shit's
is a
crazy.
rebound, bro. If she gets the
No,
ball,
that's crazy, bro. That's like 20-year-olds playing against kindergartners out there, bro. That shit's wild. Watching her around the backboard, man, that shit is crazy.
For anybody who
Around
wonders
the
what we're
rim.
talking about the WNBA. That's women's basketball. Angel Reese was the Rookie of the Year. She was a rookie the same year as Caitlin Clark, and I think beat her out. Maybe Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year. She got second, but Angel Reese
Yeah, I
is
don't
real
know who the hell
popular
won that.
too. She's kind of I want to say she's a bigger girl. She's not like fat or anything, but she's tall. And her move is kind of like get down there and get the rebound and shoot a layup and miss it and get her own rebound and then shoot it again and miss it and get a rebound again and then shoot it again. And eventually it goes in and she has
It
like
was Caitlin Clark, yeah. Yeah,
10
Caitlin Clark
rebounds.
just drained them from like the fucking stadium parking lot, dude.
Yes, yeah.
She's at your house, bro, and she's just fucking draining threes. Like, she's insane.
She's like a female Steph Curry. Danielle C says I can
Yep.
kind of take a guess what they might be saying. Yeah, I kind of knew with the hand gestures, but I don't know. I thought it was good. There's actually a lot of people protesting Trump and doing these protests for Americans and against fascism around the world, but nobody is showing that on the news, which is crazy too. Reese listed at 3K and no sell. Reese. What's Reese?
Probably the Angel Reese NFT.
Oh, it's probably a 1-of-1, and nobody's buying it for 3K. And Clayton Clark showed for 20. Man, I'm gonna go buy it. Y'all are sleeping on it.
Saying, bro, listen, sometimes you just recognize talent.
That's
you know,
right.
like when you look at somebody, and I'm like, listen, not only is she an incredible player, because I've watched not a lot of WNBA, but I've seen like Diana Taurasi and all these other ones come through swoops or whatever, right?
Yep.
And I've watched them play, and I'm like, okay, they're good basketball players for what they do, right? But then when the whole Caitlin Clark thing took off, and her highlights just started showing up, and again, these other players, they were forced down my throat too, but I didn't buy it. I'm just watching Caitlin Clark. I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, this girl's for real. And then you see her talk and how good of a teammate she is, and how much she like respects the game and everything. I don't get that vibe from Angel Reese. I just feel like she's just balling, collecting a paycheck. I don't know if she's the greatest teammate. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know too much about her, but I don't get that vibe from her. And I've seen her talk like post-game press conferences or whatever, but I don't know, man. That Caitlin Clark, she's whew.
Yeah, the Caitlin Clark attitude, her personality, it resembles to me anyway, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. They all had that same type of personality where they know that pressure's on them and they know how to act and they're taking it all in, and it's part of being a great player. So I think she's going to end up being probably the GOAT of the NWA history.
Yeah, I think she could very easily be the Jordan and the one to put the WNBA on the map for real.
Absolutely. DLC
And I
says,
think their attendance and their numbers and money is revenues sky high now too because of her. So
yeah, even when she goes to different cities and stuff, they're able to charge more for their ticket prices and sell out for the first time ever for a WNBA game in that city. Daniel C says his bro got a bumper sticker to put on his Tesla. It says, bought before a lawn went crazy. I saw somebody post that on Twitter as well. I've seen that bumper sticker posted before. I thought it was hilarious. I hear a lot of the Cybertrucks are getting vandalized all the time now from all the Elon haters.
yeah,
Viper says, but to
I mean,
make
he
her a
put himself
poster
in the
child
spotlight.
when she is a toxic trash talker. I mean, she's a narcissist. I don't know about that. I don't know that much about her personality.
No,
I'd be
Viper's a man on the
surprised.
street, bro. Viper knows his shit.
But trash talking, there's nothing wrong with that. My favorite player was one of the best trash talkers. Reggie Miller, Dennis Rodman, they're all big trash talkers. I don't have no problem with that, especially in basketball.
On the court.
Yeah.
On the court is one thing. You know what I mean? If the competitive nature comes out, you know what I mean? But like off the court, respect the game, respect your opponent, stuff like that, right?
All right, let's get back to politics. Although I didn't hear about this. Kobe getting a statue at the White House. Man.
Yeah, I heard something about that. I didn't know
real?
if it was fake news or not. But
Trump pandering. Did you hear?
I was relying on community notes.
Did you hear PK Subban ripped the current NBA and how soft they're becoming? PK Subban. What is that? What is PK Subban?
PK Subban is a NHL player.
Oh.
Or the OG black NHL players. Love that guy. He's actually really good.
How soft they're becoming? I mean, you can say that about any sport. I always feel like football is becoming really soft the way they protect the quarterback. I mean, I was a quarterback in high school, and I would like to be. And I like hitting back. The fact that they don't let them hit the quarterbacks, or they give you a 30-yard penalty if you touch the quarterback the wrong way, it's annoying to me. It makes it not as fun to watch. But not in
Agreed.
social media. All right, y'all, let's get back to politics. I do have a topic I want to talk about, but before that, there's another important event that happened just a few days ago that I want to mention, and that was where was it? Was it NATO? I'm trying to find it. United Nations. So at the United Nations, there was a vote, and for the first time, when it comes to these resolutions about Russia and Ukraine, America voted on the side of Russia, Belarus, and North Korea. Of course, usually they vote on the other side, and like this is just wild. The fact that America is now voting on the side of North Korea and Russia, and basically the vote was to affirm that Russia invaded Ukraine, and America says no. Russia did not invade Ukraine. Let me read this. It says the United States just voted with Russia, North Korea, Belarus, and Sudan against our European democratic allies at the United Nations. Trump refused to say that Russia invaded Ukraine and that it should withdraw from the sovereign country. Sovereign country. All right, Mo, what do you think about that?
I feel like it has to be, and I really hope it is. Talked with my homie about it earlier. Keep your friends close, enemies closer. I really hope that's it. I don't know if this is what we actually believe. I hope not, to a certain extent, because it's kind of crazy.
I mean, Trump said it himself. He was talking about Ukraine. He's like, you guys shouldn't have started it.
You know, if you actually go back to the lines of when Ukraine and Russia, right with the Cold War shit, I mean, again, I start speaking about that stuff. It bores the crap out of me, to be honest. But to me, I'm just like, listen, where we're at right now, if these two are at odds, we have to get to a resolution. Like, if the rest of the world is, hinging on these two getting along, which I don't really think it should, if he feels like he can't make progress with Zelensky, going the other route, it might make sense. I don't know. Listen.
That's not what he said the plan was in the beginning. He said he was going to get both of them together and come up with a plan. I guess you're saying that Zelensky, our ally, is the one that we can't work with, but Putin, one of the biggest dictators in the world, is the one we're going to work with instead. It blows my mind. All this stuff blows my mind at this point. Stan wants to know, is there gold at Fort Knox? We were just talking about that, Stan, whether or not there's gold at Fort Knox and the repercussions if there isn't. We just had a little bit of a conversation about that if you want to rewind a little bit. Apparently that guy, PK Subban, is a defenseman for the Canadians, former NHL. Man, I don't know about hockey. All I know is they fight a lot. Also Hungary with Viktor Orban, another big-time dictator, one of the worst leaders in the country. We got Biggest Bro in the chat. What's up, Biggest Bro? We got Grandma Moore here. Good morning, or good afternoon. Grandma Moore says, voted with BRICS. Is that stronger than NATO? I would not say BRICS is stronger than NATO. And this isn't BRICS. This is Russia, North Korea, Belarus, and Sudan. I think BRICS is like Saudi Arabia. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but that's not BRICS, not North Korea. We need NATO allies. Simple. It seems like Trump is going against all our allies and siding on the side of all our enemies. Why? What's he doing? Anything to get us and our money out? I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. The whole point he's saying for them to side with Russia on this is to stop spending money in Ukraine. I mean, I guess. But we did have an agreement with Ukraine that if they did not get nuclear arms, that we would defend them if Russia attacks them. And Russia attacked them. So it is our duty to abide by our agreement and defend them. But all right, so yeah.
But doesn't say if it's economical. I mean, again, it's the only thing that really makes sense. It's like if you feel like you can't fix our economy without ending that bullshit over there, and that's the route, then maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if Trump ever really liked Zelensky. He used to take shots at him all the time too.
No, he definitely doesn't like Zelensky.
It wasn't like a one-time thing, but right. He definitely unloaded on him recently. The other day, whatever, last week. But yeah, I don't know.
In his defense, I mean, if it's you have to have this war ended, and you can't put troops in there and attack Russia, and Russia won't leave. The only way to end it might be to just stop it right there. If Russia agrees to it, Russia keeps that land. At least it's over. So I mean, I can kind of see that point.
The messed up part is though, and it's not just Fox News, got some CNN report on this too, is that Russia's so depleted. Like, with all the help that Ukraine had, they were actually able to, not only repel forces from Russia, but invade and take out, strikes of their own, right?
Right.
So, that being said, and they did it with drones. They didn't have to move. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They were the drones that we sent over. And just remember that whole thing with remember the miles and miles of Russian tanks?
Yep.
And then they came in with our freaking drones and were just like, bring, and just fucking obliterated the entire line, dude. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, the fact that, and again, this is all networks that report this, Russia would take like 8 to 10 years just to rebuild to where they were, right?
Yeah. It would take them a while.
Right. So then what's the alternative, right? They don't want to mess with us because they're at a depletion. But that's where China comes in.
Ooh.
Because China's been helping out
North Korea, so yeah, you're probably right.
Well, that's what I mean, right? So now and China was already sending, military stuff over there. That's why they have like the railroad tracks and everything that we were concerned about back in like 2014.
Yeah.
You know, that whole train route is what China will use to, you know, work with Russia. So it's not just us against Russia at that point. That's why I think we really has to end it, because it wouldn't just end with Russia. It would be China, it would be everybody else, and then who the hell knows?
And then you got World War III. Yeah. News Now says if he agrees to give us the minerals, I think it's crazy they're trying to steal his minerals. I mean, I don't know, man. Blows my mind. All right, but I do have a particular topic when it comes to politics that I want to talk about, and I want to start it off with the pop quiz for Mo and everybody in the chat. This is your pop quiz. Help me out. I'm going to show you here the picture. This is the Joint Chiefs of Staff right here. It's the all of the leaders of the militaries, and Donald Trump fired 2 of these people. Can you guess which 2?
Keep in mind I'm delayed on stream, so.
Oh, okay. It's pretty easy.
I'm not looking it up. I'm now just seeing it. Oof, this is a tough one.
Is it?
This is a tough one. All right, well, is your latest unemployed government employee or ex-employee wearing glasses?
I mean, yeah, it's obviously he fired the people that aren't white males.
I mean, I feel like, you know, could have gone either way, right?
Bro, I mean,
maybe get rid of the old guy, the senile dude.
Yeah, he looks like he's like 80 years old, but no, he's a white male.
He's
probably a heterosexual Christian, so that means he's more qualified, because today we're talking about DEI. And what's crazy to me is this whole idea of DEI and this meritocracy that they're trying to build. According to the Trump administration, they want everybody to be chosen on merit alone. Nothing else should matter. But then, of course, you look at his cabinet. They just moved out the Secretary of Defense, which is usually a general. And it was Austin, and he was in the military for 41 years, and he was a general. He served on 8 commands. And they replaced him with Pete Hegseth, the Fox News host, who was in the military for 13 years, and his highest rank was major. So, I mean, is that DEI? I mean, obviously, if it's a meritocracy, the person who has the most qualifications is the general, of course. And then you look at the new press secretary. They always call that Karine Jean-Pierre lady, who was the person who gave all the press briefings at the White House. They always talked about how she was a DEI holler, but she has like a whole list of credentials. And then they got this new lady, Caroline Leavitt, who is just some ditzy blonde. She's already been saying some crazy stuff about she only wants to serve Trump, and whatever he wants goes, and doesn't care about the law. And of course, again, they're going to call this lady the DEI and not the white lady. And but my point is, it's all based on racism. It's just white supremacy is literally what it is. Let's look at some more. If you look at the people that Trump have appointed this year already, you've got nothing but members of his family, people that don't have any type of experience in any of these roles, but they are members of his family. So, of course, that gives them these positions. But they're worried about DEI. Keep that in mind. You look at Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he has 0 years in 0 years of experience in government health and human services. You got Linda McMahon. She is the wife of the WWE CEO. She has no type of experience for this. But again, it's supposed to be a meritocracy. Now we got Dan Bongino. They just decided to hire. I think he's going to be second in command at the FBI. This dude's a crazy person. This dude is literally a fascist. He's quoted as saying that Trump should ignore court decisions that he disagrees with, because who's going to arrest him? The marshals? Trump controls the marshals. So basically, this dude's like a fascist, and they're just like, all right, we'll hire him. And then, of course, you have all this talk about the DEIs, and we've got to have a meritocracy, but nobody's talking about getting rid of legacy admissions to colleges because your father graduated, or your grandfather, or your mother graduated from that college. That's been
going on forever.
That's not a meritocracy. Yeah, they go on forever. Those people are going to have a leg up in life for the rest of eternity, and nobody seems to have a problem with that. If it was all about meritocracy and not about racism, then they'd be getting rid of legacy admissions too. So
I think their family lineage put in the work. You know
What's
what I mean? And their kid, if the family puts in the work, and their kids reap the rewards. You know, if you're a trust fund baby and you don't got to fucking work, your parents probably did some work. You know,
right?
Made
But
some
that doesn't
money,
mean that you have.
now you're good.
That doesn't mean that you have the best merit to have that position in that university.
Not necessarily, but it doesn't discredit you either.
Bruh. So do you think this DEI stuff is just pure white supremacy?
it's a weird topic for me because I know everyone's like, "Oh, I'm colorblind," and honestly, man, like, I don't know if my homie's still listening, but like where we grew up, bro, like, we just had a melting pot, you know. And I thought about the story when you told me we'd do DEI, because I'm like, man, like, I remember I was a kid, and we had like this black dude walking down the street. Right, I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, like 99.9% white neighborhood. Black dude goes walking down the street. He didn't look too good, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody else is kind of looking at him, you know. We were down the block playing basketball. He walks by, this and that, and he walked by my house down the block, and my dad was outside or whatever, and he must have said hello to the kid or whatever, you know. And my dad just always had that radar, like if something was off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had a conversation with the kid. Next thing you know, like the dude's like hanging out. He was having dinner. Apparently, he was getting like severely abused and shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just getting his ass beat with like AC cords, and he had like fucking marks and welts and burn marks all over him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But seeing it again, considering that I didn't really have any like besides school, you know what I mean?
Right.
But we were super young, and to see somebody like that, just like and again, I didn't see the color of it. And to this day, that's just kind of how I react. Like, I don't really care what color you are. If you're like a human being and you need help, like, I try to help you. And if I feel like you're the best person for the job, like if you're playing, like let's say we're playing basketball, right? And you're the captain, I'm the captain. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You think I never give a fuck if the person was black, white, Chinese, whatever? Like, I want to win the fucking game.
Okay, so here's my question. If you get on a plane and the plane's about to take off and the pilot's black, does that give you pause?
No, I don't give a shit.
But Trump does, and all the Republicans and the MAGA people do. That's the problem. I mean, whenever we had the crash the other day with the helicopter, Trump came out in a press conference and said this was because of DEI, and then found out it was a bunch of white dudes. He just blames everything on DEI. Can you imagine if one of those pilots were black? That would just be the end of it. It's black people's fault. It's so
again, it's not
stupid.
It's not going to be useful in every argument. I get it. But the problem with DEI is that the amount of money it costs to incorporate these systems, instead of just being like, hey, let me interview 10 people and whoever's the best fucking person, give them the fucking job. But it costs a lot of money to incorporate all this DEI policy and everything that they want to do and overhaul the systems. But they don't even really have to do that.
So
now, when it comes to the helicopter crash, was that DEI? No, probably not, right? But then you look at the other one that flipped upside down.
Yeah.
Bro, did you look at their fucking TikTok? Have you seen the videos that they're supposed to be flying up in the air and they're fucking shooting TikTok videos like my girlfriend shoots at fucking school? I'm like, bro, like that's fucking wild to me.
Was like the pilots did that?
Yeah, and they all go out of their way. Their whole thing is like manless flights, and it's like that's the problem with it on my side. Now, like I see the issue what you're talking about, but on the flip side, you have this whole other subsection that's like we're 100% manless, and they shoot these videos of like these women doing TikToks, and up there in the cockpit. Even my girl was watching. She's like, "Isn't this just supposed to be locked or something like that?" You know what I mean? Like it's just weird, but I understand. Like that's the whole other side of it. But the DEI part of it is like neither one of it should be happening. Like you should be blaming people because they're black or whatever, but you should just be say, hey, if you're good at your job and you can do the job, you're fucking hired. But when it comes to Trump, here's one thing I'll say: you have to align yourself with the same values. I get it. The first time around, he didn't do it, and it fucked him. You know what I mean? He's trying to do it where he can just put everybody with the same core values. Again, I don't agree with everything.
The white values.
You know? We're gonna have some bumps along the road. But
what are the values? White supremacy? I don't understand.
No, the core values for him is America first and save this economy. Like whatever has to be done to do that, that's what he wants to do. And again, if it means partnering with Putin, which he never said he would do, if that's the pivot he feels like he has to make it happen, maybe that's it. You know.
So here's my solution. That I don't know if this will work, but here's my idea for a solution. From now on, anytime you apply for any job ever, you only use your social security number. No name. No like.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing, bro. This isn't new. DEI is not fucking new. You've been watching sports for how long, right? You remember the Rooney Rule?
No.
Okay. The Rooney Rule basically said you have to fucking interview like at least one black fucking.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Either one black coach or one person for the vacancy position.
But it's a little bit different there because you got to keep in mind that 80% of the players are black.
That's fine, but again, coaches were still hiring black people. They were still giving them interviews. But for whatever reason, they felt like they had to go out and say, okay, now it's mandated because, whatever, some certain subsect of group felt like they had to, raise arms about it, Which, again, was it a racist thing happened in the NFL? Yeah, I'm sure there was some of it going on. I mean, John Gruden, if you remember that whole thing with the emails, I mean, it was definitely going on.
Yep.
You know, but there's racist people everywhere. The bottom line is just weed them out and get them out. You know,
they're not getting them out; they're appointing them to the administration, bro. All right, Stan says
we don't know that. You just think that based on what his ideology is. But again, if these people feel like they have the right mindset and the right agenda to, you know, again, fix our economy, make America great again, get back to building things here, and you know, I mean, to me, that's what it's all about. And we knew there was gonna be bumps in the road, but the end goal still remains the same. So. A lot of this is definitely much bigger shakeup, I think, than even I would have expected, and we knew there was gonna be a lot of shit going on.
Shit is the proper word for it. Stan says, "Are the generals rich? Generals make, I just looked it up, between 200,000 and 270,000 per year, but they're usually generals for like a long time. So I could see that happening. Plus, I think they write books too. I could be wrong about that. I know a lot of people complain about how much money Elizabeth Warren has, despite her salary, but she wrote like 3 bestsellers. That's where the money comes from. It's obvious. Just look it up. KGP. I don't know who.
That's a lot of money, but.
What'd you say?
I mean, that's a lot of money, because more than likely it's just follow her investments, follow Pelosi investments, and we could be rich too, you know? It's just crazy that all politicians also have to be like the world's best fucking investors too. It always fucking blows my mind, but they do write good books too, apparently.
Apparently. That's who you're talking about. Karine. I never watched those press conferences. I just remember they always called her a DEI hire, and then you look at her actual experience and stats, and it's like, oh, y'all are crazy. You got Kash Patel, so he's not a white guy, but he's literally crazy. he says that he just wants to own the libs, like that's all he wants to do, and he thinks that the 2020 election was stolen. So I mean, yeah, that's true. He's not a white guy. You got one. Of course, you watch.
He is one of my favorites too.
If you watch Dan Bongino, then you are very misinformed. He is misinforming you every day. Now compare the ages between the press secretary. The Trump one is like 27, and the other one is like 40 something. What's your point? I don't understand the point there. Is that bad or good? Wouldn't you want somebody with more experience? Kash Patel is that dude. He's 100% a conspiracy theorist, moron. Oh, I would like to know his education level. Man, my chat is crazy. I remember last week we had a poll, and more than half of the chat would rather send Elon Musk to Mars than feed hungry children. You guys.
That's right.
Bro. Crypto people. Nepotism.
These are my people. All right, well, listen, these are my people, okay? I pay them well, okay? They all get Christmas gifts. Do you send chat Christmas cards and Christmas cookies?
I'm going to start doing that. I didn't know that was going to influence them. Jeez.
I think I win these polls, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we do it.
Biggest bro says nepotism the American way, but you didn't see any of these other presidents doing that. Definitely not the way Trump does it. Like, I mean, yes, it is, but on the other hand, never at this level. Not even close. Was Hunter Biden a presidential advisor? Of course not. Michigan teaching DEI in high school told my son to just get a C and forget it ever happened. How's that DEI though? What's that got to do with DEI? I need some more context to that. DEI is communism. It says News Now. So you don't like DEI, News Now? It's y'all the one. Oh, I guess you're saying. Okay, I hear you. And YouTube is communist too. I can't say half of what I say. I want to say. I know they don't let a lot of the comments come through, and I'm not exactly sure why. Sometimes it doesn't even have bad words in it. There's no black people flying those planes, so what are you even talking about? Did you not hear Donald Trump in his press conference say that he thinks it was DEI, and then when a reporter asked him, why do you think it's DEI, he said common sense? That was his answer. Go watch the press conference. Big A says he can vouch for Mo. He's always been nice to me, even though I'm Puerto Ricano. I think that's how you say it.
You're Puerto Rican?
I didn't know.
Holy shit.
Look
I've
like
definitely going about it all wrong. Yeah, I've just deleted him from my life. All right, thank you.
That's what you get, bro.
Exposed. He ratted himself out.
Now we know.
You had a good run, Big A. Congratulations.
Okay, so News Now is talking about the TikToks too. I didn't see the TikToks. All I know though, the lady you're talking about, I think she was like really, really new at the job. So I mean, that was more inexperienced than anything. Roman salutes publicly is not America first. I mean, Woody, they don't believe that was an actual Nazi sign that Elon Musk threw up, even though Steve Bannon then went and did the exact same thing, and then some other guy did the exact same. They're all just throwing up Nazi salutes like it's nothing. Kanye's got a new Nazi T-shirt that he's selling, bro.
You know, and the more this happens, and I start thinking about it, I might lose the bet about Captain America, because Vivi might jump on board and be like, "Oh shit, the swastika's hot again."
Maybe they were going to do it before, but now that being a Nazi is cool again.
Yeah, now it's like, oh shit, we're about to get on the bandwagon.
News Now says, how do you know what Trump
Jesus.
thinks? Because he tells us. It's not hard. I know what he thinks. It's obvious. He's not holding anything in.
Or do you know what he wants you to think?
He's not playing 3D chess, bro. That man is not.
3D chess.
Have you read his Twitter? He can't even spell. I'm a small town
I mean,
guy.
those chess pieces would have a lot of orange fucking paint on them.
Yeah, for sure. Rub right off on them. On my way to interact, go out of my way to interact and be nice to other races. I mean, it shouldn't even really matter. Just every person, other people. But yeah.
But see, that's a little weird too, though. I'm not saying you're a weird guy, Womp, but I feel like people do that because they're on guard because they feel like, oh, well, you know,
that in
if
itself
my
is
race,
a type of racism.
Yeah, well, that's what people would say, right? But I understand, like, the flip side of it, playing devil's advocate, right? Like, oh, well, most of the time, if you're, like, a minority race in an area, it's like, you know, they usually feel, like, bullied or on edge. So it's like, well, let me be overly nice to this person so they don't think that the next time that they run into, you know, a white person or whatever the case might be.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I get that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, we're not really doing any justice by doing that because, like, yeah, some people might take offense to that. Like, why are you being so nice to me, man? Like, why? Is it because I'm Spanish or why? Because I'm Puerto Rican? You know what I mean? Like, it can lead to a weird conversation, but I don't know. I just feel like, man, just shut the fuck up, smile, say hello to people, be nice. You know what I mean? Like, smiles are fucking contagious, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Viper says, I'm not agreeing with the opinion of representation, but the Super Bowl halftime show didn't represent all of the fans.
It's true. I was boring as fuck. Apparently, there was a message to it.
I mean, now you're trying to like put a rule in there. You got to have one race and one sex of every fan ever of the NFL. I mean, it's never going to represent everybody.
Well, again, I don't know if it's a racist comment. I hope not. But like, I feel like that was more of a representation of the NFL these days than putting a fucking rock band up there. I mean,
100%.
If it's the NHL, sure, bring on fucking Metallica, bring on fucking any rock band here, right? Like Avenged Sevenfold. But yeah, I mean, for NFL, that's like, could you imagine Motley Crue opening up for the NBA? It would make no fucking sense. Like, get Drake to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense to me. C-Spill says it's a control and money thing, Mo. Don't you remember the LA Clippers?
Probably not. LA who?
Grandma Moore says, and if you can interview people without seeing them like on The Voice, that way it is more fair. Like maybe do it over the computer where you're just typing, then you definitely, because I mean, they've done actual experiments where they've given two people the exact same resume. One of them's named Tom Jones and the other one's named Shaniqua. And guess who gets hired? It's Tom Jones every time. Yep. If you want to go down the rabbit hole of things like that, says Viper Active. He's talking about, you talking about the Super Bowl halftime? Big A says it's weird how some of the wealthiest people are able to hire the best account traders. How do they afford that? Are you talking about like accountants? And they also do a lot of, I mean, basically what they do is they invest money into paying off congressmen to get new loopholes that make them more money than they paid the congressmen. That's kind of what that's.
What correction, Republican congressmen.
Yes. Oh, well, pretty much. Except for the healthcare industry, a lot of Democratic.
Oh, that'll go blue. But typically, when it comes to tax loopholes, that's on the Republican side. We own that.
Absolutely. But they don't like to admit it. Viper Actor says,
why are they trying to get so rich for so long, bro? Like, listen, I want to take advantage of those loopholes too, man. The fuck?
I don't understand why the super rich people want these loopholes, bro. How much money is enough, bro? You can buy anything you want, and your grandchildren can buy anything they want. Stop.
Well, the problem is, right? So if the richest people in the world say like, I have too much money, then the government might try to be like, oh, well, then let's have like a wealth limit. You know what I mean? And if you max out your wealth, you have to give up the rest of your money. So if you could only make whatever, $1 billion.
I'm okay with that. Do it.
I mean, honestly, like I'd be okay with that too, because I'm probably never going to make the max, right? But, I can understand the purpose. But my whole point has always been like, and I think, again, that's what we're trying to aim for now, where it's like with the tariffs and, having other countries pay their fair share. Same thing here. Just pay your fair share. If you made $1 million and I made, $100,000 in a working year, like you shouldn't be paying less taxes than me because of who you know and the loopholes, right? Like you should just pay your 10%, 20%, whatever the case might be, to give a number, and I'll pay my 20%. You made more money, so you could afford to put more back into the system. Like I don't really see why that's ever a problem. But it's only a problem on the Republican side. Trust me, I'm not.
You sound like a Democrat right now, bro.
No, I know. Well, listen, I'm a centrist. Okay, I'm not actually a Republican. I am a centrist.
I'm not a Democrat, so I hear you. And yeah, I agree with that 100%. News Now says, what does that Trump said have to do with black people? I mean, he said quite a few things. Didn't he say, he was talking about black jobs when he said the immigrants were taking, basically he's saying that black people can only get jobs, minimum wage jobs, because what jobs are immigrants taking? He said they're the black jobs. I mean, what do you think DEI is? What do you think it is whenever he says that anybody who is an employee who isn't a white male is a DEI hire? Well, is that not racist? That's the whole point of this conversation. That's literally white supremacy. It's saying that the only person qualified for this job, any job, is a white male. It's
no, but the flip side of that is, like I said, you have these people that are hired because they're not white. And that's what I think some people will get like outraged about. And it was like a paramedic or something. I don't know, I think someone might have been what Viper was talking about in chat.
Well, then it gets a little more complicated, because then you got, what if you have a company here that will only hire white people? I mean, if it's a private company, I think that's the whole problem with affirmative action. I mean, I think we should just let them hire nothing but white people. And then you're going to have a lot of people that are like, I'm not going to buy from this company because they only hire from white people. And that's their choice to make.
Well, that's exactly. It should be their choice to make. Nothing should be mandated. But if people look at it and they're like, wow, this is a really racist fucking company.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to buy from them and I don't want to support them. Like, it's the same thing if you're a content creator and you're a fucking, you're a racist and people tune in. They're like, I don't like this guy. You know what? He's a fucking racist. He's a piece of shit and I don't want to tune in. So what do? They don't tune in, right? And then the streamer doesn't make money. He doesn't get subscriptions. They're not supporting. Right. It's the same thing in the real world. The difference is, in the real world, you get on Twitter, you get on Facebook, you get on your little echo chamber, right? And now you're just fucking talking to all the same people that just fucking, agree with you.
Echo chambers, yep.
Yeah, the echo chambers. Like, I don't live in an echo chamber. I know you don't either. You know what I mean? Like, you're like me, where you actually probably get up and enjoy having conversations that take you out of your comfort zone.
Oh, I argue with people on Twitter all the time.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I enjoy it.
But, like, to go there and, like, spout things out and wake up. I hate when I wake up and I make a post. And I wake up and it's nothing but likes. And people being like, yeah, Mo. Yeah, go. And listen. If it's like one of my horses won and they're excited, that's cool. But, like, I love when people are like, nah, man, I don't think you're looking at it correctly, or whatever the case might be,
Right.
Not that I try to ruffle feathers on Twitter or social media. Anyway, I know it's still polarizing with people in this world nowadays, but,
yeah, social media is wild these days, especially when it comes to politics. News Now says DEI is more than black. Yes, the people who benefit the most from DEI are white women, actually. Viper says, why try anywhere is all I meant. If you have a medical emergency, do you care who comes to save you? I don't, but some people definitely do. That, again, is the point here.
Yeah.
News Now says you should criticize Alon and all these cats for stuff that's worthy of criticism and not opinionated stuff like Alon having a kid with an old girl that's gross. I've not said one word about that, but since we're on it...
I was like, when the hell did Walt ever talk shit about Elon popping seeds into women?
Don't he got like 7... He's like the white Nick Carter.
Bro, did you see that thing where it was like this chick was telling a story? She's like, he couldn't wait to impregnate me and go back to playing video games. Bro, I was dying. I have to find out that's a real story. I don't know if it is.
I think it is. I think it's like it's a complex where it's a again another superiority complex where he wants to spread his seed because he thinks his seed is better than everybody else's. He believes that he's a genius because the media said he was a genius for so long, even though he ain't invented nothing. He just buys companies.
That may not be wrong, but I can tell you this. I used to work with these Jamaican guys, right?
Yeah. And
with those guys, trust me, their lives weren't anything special. But it was like their life goal was to travel around and knock up as many women as they can.
See?
And this guy is like, oh, Jody, man, I got 17 sons in Jamaica. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy, because for him, he thought like one of them would be rich and one of them would become famous and then take care of them. So his whole thing was just like go around and just, what do you say, sow his seed or whatever?
Yeah, he's playing the odds.
Yeah, he was just, bro, like the way he used to tell the story though. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, like, listen, with the Elon, you might be right. I'm not gonna say you're not, but with these guys I was talking about, these Jamaicans, like that was their whole culture that they would tell me about.
That's crazy.
It was like a mini game for them. Like, they're playing like World of Warcraft and like the side mission is go out and knock up 100 Jamaican women or whatever. Actually, it was knock up all women. He used to tell me he had sons in like the UK, he had freaking kids in Australia, fucking Mexico.
Seems messed up to me. You don't know your kids? That's crazy.
Yeah.
What he said, Mo feeling sorry for super rich people. Yeah, Mo is slowly coming to our side, Woody. You got to keep it on the down low so he doesn't realize it. We're trying to Trojan horse him. We're trying to blue pill him. Our liberal prime minister off a $390,000 a year salary. He's now worth $96 million. The question, are you talking about Trudeau? The question is, did he write a book? Does he get paid for speeches? Did he inherit some money? I mean, you can say how much somebody makes and how much they're worth, but there has to be context in between. I mean, maybe he's crooked. Maybe he stole some money. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't know the context. However, since he took
That's
over...
why I'm waiting for those, that bubble wallet thing I was telling you about, that NGO tracker.
Yep.
God, I can't wait to get some more info on that. I've been looking. Was that Mario? Was it Mario Newfall, I think his name is? Something like that?
Nowfall or what, yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that first had posted about it, and apparently there's going to be some updates, but that was what I was talking about, man. Like, if you really want to see where this money goes and where it comes from for these people that become rich, this is what we're starting to see. And again, I'm not saying it's all crooked. I'm sure, again, there's book money and all sorts of, speaking money. I get it. But, man, if we think about how much we learned from, like, the wallet bubble map thing, you know what I mean, on crypto?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, just think about that. And then if we apply that to some of the shady stuff going on in government on both sides, you know what I mean?
That idea. But then again, you're talking about shady stuff, and Trump said it again today, and they said it a million times. All this fraud is being discovered. Not one piece of fraud. I've not seen where's the fraud? They keep talking about all the fraud they're discovering. I haven't seen zero fraud. I mean, they're saying, okay, we paid $100,000 for a gay opera. That's not fraud, whether you like it or not. Where is the fraud? I mean, have you seen any fraud? Do you know what fraud they're referring to here?
Well, so I know, and I'm just going anecdotal on what I see. I could say, okay, well, where the hell is my taxpayer dollar going? Because if it's supposed to be going for schools and roads and all that, like I got potholes up the fucking wazoo. I mean, we got schools that get fucking shot up. We got lack of security. My girl's a teacher, you know what I mean? Like, that shit worries the hell out of me. Like, I see some of the effects that people are talking about. With the fraud, I know we give like $50 million to fucking teach like pottery in Morocco or something like that.
Not fraud.
I don't know if it's fraud, but it's just wasteful.
What do you mean you don't know?
It's wasteful spending.
What do you mean you don't know if it's fraud? This was public information. This was money that was allocated by Congress.
They call it wasteful spending. I know, but when I see it talked about, it's always considered wasteful spending. I don't
You're
even see
fraud.
the fraud.
I want to know where the fraud is, because they keep saying it over and over. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, keeps saying that we found massive amounts of fraud. Massive amounts. Show me one. Just one is all I want.
What do you want me to come over to the dark side? Not today. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, that's what I'm saying. I'm on the edge of my seat. Like, because we're going to get open. Like, we're going to get people that look into it.
The point is, it's all BS. All this Doge stuff has been BS. Half of the stuff that they're talking about, these gay operas and stuff, wasn't even from the USAID. It was from the State Department. They have no clue what they're talking about. News says money of DEI is not white supremacy. I mean, I think it is. We disagree then. I think I laid out a pretty good case. I mean, can you explain to me then? I mean, can you explain to me how it's not? I'm saying you should criticize. Oh, we should criticize him for old girl. There was 2 different babies' mamas this week that tried to get a hold of Alon on Twitter, and I think he deleted one of their messages and blocked the other one. That's you're too rich to be a deadbeat dad, bro. He's
I mean, listen, he's probably like, he's like, I'll come back in 17 and a half years and I'll take him to Mars. You know what I mean? Until then, keep a roof over their head and make sure they don't fucking grow up to be retarded. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, keep a roof over your head is a good point, because he's the richest man in the world. He's got billions and billions of dollars. However, he's purposely trying to get his child support cases to all take place in Texas, because Texas has a special law where he only has to pay $2,700 a month for child support. That's how cheap.
Good, because if you live in Texas, it don't cost $2,700 to live. Texas is cheap. I know, because me, Big A, and BE looked up houses.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro, listen. I tell my girl all the time, because she wants to go to Florida, with Disney and everything.
Of course.
And I'm like, man, if I moved out of New York, I would love to go to like that Austin area.
Austin
it's
cool.
like,
yes,
it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like a liberal Republican area. You know what I'm saying? People just, again, you want to say like common sense, right? Most people just seem, from what I understand, I know people that live there too. It just seems to be a very wake up, go about your business. You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you type of vibe. You know what I mean?
Back, yeah.
Yeah, and you're in Texas, so if people do fuck around, they know you could be packing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
People don't mess with other people in Texas because everybody got a gun. Let me see what Grandma Moore is talking about, then we'll move on to our Web3 gaming topic. She says, why do we only get to pick from the candidates that someone we don't elect chooses? Where are other party options? That's because that's the way both parties work. Yeah, the whole Democratic National Convention, Republican National Convention. I'll tell you, if I was elected president, my first executive order would be no more political parties, no Republicans, no Democrats, everybody's independent. Now what?
Sure. The problem with that is then, you'd have to take money out of politics for that to work, which I know we both agree with.
That was something I would definitely do too.
Right. Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. But by taking the money out of politics, you now keep, these bigger companies and stuff that would, otherwise put money into these, candidates' pockets, being like, "Hey, you're gonna do this for me, right?
Yep.
You're gonna do that for me, right? Thank you." So if that's the case, then, take money out of politics, get rid of all the parties, right? And then, sure, it's just a free and fair election, in my opinion.
And of course, they'll never do that because they love the control of having the national parties. But I wish they would at least do this: split up the Republican Party into Republican and MAGA, split up the Democrat Party into Democrat and progressives. Now we got 4 parties. I like that better.
So the early days, I think we talked about this, right? So it was the Federalists,
Yep.
and it was the Democratic Republicans.
Yep.
Like, they were joined at one point.
Yep.
And then they started to have different ideologies, so they started to go their separate ways, kind of more of like an independent. But then the Federalists just kind of lost their way, and they basically wound up getting eliminated. So if people think that, like, the Green Party or some sort of third party couldn't come along and wipe out one of the existing parties, it very well could happen. It's happened in the past.
Yeah, it would take a little bit of time and some strong candidates, but it definitely could happen. 100%.
Well, I think it happened back then because we didn't have social media, we didn't have politics, right?
Yep.
Back then, it was probably some guy who was like, "Hey, you'll do me a favor next Tuesday, right? If I vote for you."
Yep.
Like, you'll mow my lawn or some shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was probably something stupid. But now it's like, hey, if this guy gives me $1 billion for my campaign and maybe some other money on the side, or maybe once I get out of politics, they got a cush job lined up for me. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. That's happens a lot.
Yeah, and that's, and that should be, again, it's Republicans, Democrats, they all take advantage of it, but that should be gone. You should not be allowed to hold one of these positions if you ever held a position of power of office. Like,
100%.
you should not be able to have some sort of, like, reigning power, either like a CEO or some sort of sitting power. You shouldn't be able to have that. Like, because you're way too embedded at the top at that point, and even though you're at the top of a company, you still have so many connections that can just pull the strings, man. Again, Republican, Democrat, they all do it,
They definitely all do it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Man. Their job is to represent their constituents, and when you put money into play, you're representing a corporation or you're representing a special interest. You're not representing your constituents. You're not doing your job. You're doing the opposite of your job. So it is
like, what
definitely
if,
a problem.
and I'll say one more thing, I want to move on, but like, what if at the beginning of your political, movement, right, and you start to get into politics, what if you're forced to take some sort of like it's called like an assessment test, right?
Yeah.
And they ask you like all these questions about how do you feel about this part of the government, how do you feel about that, what kind of changes do you want to make, and then based on that is just how you have to run. Now I understand that you might learn some new things, you might say I'm wrong, but at least someone would be able to go in and be like, "Oh, well, you were bought out by X or Y because back then you were saying one thing and now someone put money in your pocket, you're doing something different."
Right.
It would
so
be
what
nice
you're
to
saying
have that.
is it'd be okay for some politicians to take some money from lobbyists if it aligns with their original views anyway.
Well, not only that, but I'm just saying it would make more sense, right? To be like, well, I want to align with someone that agrees with me and we have the same vision, right? They work better together. So yeah, it would make more sense and people wouldn't, give them fucking slack about it. Instead of being like, well, you're working for Coca-Cola, but you're taking money from Pepsi type of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it would kind of simplify that. But then again, you learn things, people do grow, we change our minds. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
I've changed my mind on plenty of things over the years. I'll admit it.
Yeah, I have no problem changing my policy positions when new information comes along, or really just a really good argument. But usually I'm pretty secure on all my positions at this point. I'm getting no shout out to OG Turtles in the chat. What's up, my man? We're going to talk about the VVverse here in just a minute, but first we're going to talk about our Web3 game of the day. Or maybe Web3.
This one's a doozy.
3 game of the week, since we do this weekly. And this one is called Seedworld. This is Seedworld. It is a gaming platform with a real-world economy. And I'm going to let Mo talk to you about this. He's been checking out this game a little bit, and I'm going to play a clip of their game mode where you can create your own maps, which I know Mo has probably messed around with. That's his favorite thing to do. So shout out to Dr. Strange in the chat. Mo, tell him about Seedworld.
Yeah, Seedworld is a game I came across by accident because I was buying a token called S-World on Avalanche. And I came across this, which is actually on Ethereum. And yeah, it's basically user-generated content, so it's kind of like the Fortnite editor stuff, like where you build your own world and your own game modes. But everything is everything's like an NFT. So anytime you go out and mine stuff, they'll have like actual real world value where you can come back and like combine them together and then sell it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, outside of that, it's going to be kind of like a sandbox type of world. Like, it is what you make it. If people can go in here and have good ideas and good vision, and they know how to code maybe a little bit and have like some insight on how games work, yeah, they can go in here and make some cool stuff, little mini games, and then people can go in and play them, earn currency. I don't know if the game is fully launched yet. The NFTs are actually still kind of pricey.
Oh, really? Well, it's Ethereum. Is it layer 1 Ethereum?
Layer 1 Ethereum. So yeah, you are paying out the ass. There's gas fees, which is why I don't own one of the NFTs. But yeah, I've been looking into it. They had like an open beta not too long ago.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if they have launched yet because I couldn't find any gameplay.
No, it's still in development. But yeah, right now you basically you get the NFTs and you stake them away. It's like every other fucking Web3 game, They promise the world, deliver nothing for 2, 3, 4 years. In the meantime, you get these, PFPs and you get to stake them away and get residual income. You know what I mean?
Well, the graphics look really good. So whenever the game is live, so is it going to be like a Fortnite game or just a world builder? Are you going to be playing like King of the Hill? How's that work?
Yeah, so it's going to be whatever kind of game modes people want to make. So maybe you can go in and play like a Rocket League type thing where you're in a vehicle hitting a soccer ball, or maybe one's a shooter game, maybe one's a puzzle game, or what's the other ones you gotta like escape maze, you know what I mean? Escape rooms,
So you gotta build your own games? That's not like a Fortnite game or something?
No, it's more like the Fortnite creative section. Like that's where I made all my maps. Like
it
when
says
I
it
went
has
to
a
Fortnite,
real world economy. So what are you buying and selling?
the resources for the games, for the items rather. So if you want to build stuff, you have to have the resource and build your, upgrade your items. You'll have to have the NFTs, and you gotta buy them.
Looks pretty cool. I don't like the fact that it's on ETH Layer 1. I do like the fact that Big A likes it. Anything Big A wants or likes, it says is good, I'm buying. Because Big A is all about the alpha. That's what the A stands for. He says S-World's one of his bags, and the S-World token you were talking about is the one for that game. So it looks cool. Cool graphics. Hasn't launched yet, so you're able to get in early. It is on Layer 1, though, so you gotta pay some gas.
Wait, this is the same one, Big A?
That's what he says.
I thought I stumbled across this randomly a while back.
That's how I found VV and Omi, was just random. I was looking for tokens that were less than a penny, and I just happened to look that one up and looked at the white papers, the old ones, the old tokenomics, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Big A says the token is on 5 different chains. It's all the same token. There you go.
Oh, so the game itself is on Ethereum. Okay. Because I actually went into this and I was like, all right, so if that's the case, let me go and try to find some gameplay on the ABAX version, and I couldn't. All I ever found was this stupid games.gg website, which, by the way, if you really want to know how, and I know it's not what we plan on talking about, but it's all I really had on this game. The problem with Web3 gaming, that website that I sent you, right? That games with
I'll check it out
3.
for a minute.
If you go through and you look at all the games, everything about it is just a ripoff of like games that currently exist. They use the same font, they use the same color scheme. They just make it Web3 and they change a little, enough around to make it like creative, right? Kind of like arcade used to do, like with the Disney stuff and the Marvel.
Yep.
Change 10% of it and you get away with it, creative licenses or whatever.
Yep.
But that's all these guys do, and this whole website is littered with games that are just like that. So this is why I don't really know if I believe in the future of Web3 gaming right now. I still feel like Off the Grid is going to do something. But outside of that, people are going to be waiting. Because I don't think there's anything else that's even close to that type of game, my opinion.
Not yet, but they're working on it. It takes 5 years or something like that to make a AAA game. And you got stuff like Photo Finish Live out there. Photo Finish Live is pretty impressive in its own.
Yeah, but that's a simulate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's not an actual video game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when you play a video game, like, Off the Grid, compared to, oh my god, I think it was just called Grit. G-R-I-T.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was another Battle Royale, NFT game. But, dude, like, I logged in, and I'm like, oh, this is, like, something I would make overnight. in Unreal Engine.
Oh wow.
It was a cookie cutter template. They just slapped on some textures, you know what I'm saying? Added some text, right? Like, those games, they're going to try to release those games, and then they're just going to go out of business. And they're never going to get the opportunity to make the AAA title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm
Which
already
is
seeing
why-
how people react to that kind of stuff because I used to live stream Epico. As soon as it came out, people were like, everybody in VV, you know, was into Epico, and they're like, you got to live stream this, everybody's going to love it. And that was back when I had a ton of people on my live streams, and everybody was mad, like, bro, this is a ripoff of some other tower builder game that was super popular. And it's like, it's exactly what you're talking about. They pretty much just took that idea and made it a Web3 game.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of that. And what's going to happen is those games are going to come out. They're going to make some early adopters money. It's going to be a pump and dump like the fucking meme coin cycle, which I think is finally dead, by the way. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, I don't know where the fuck I was going with that, but I just like got to get out of the cycle, man. Like, so again, that's when like Microsoft or Sony's going to come in, and they're going to say, okay, well, here's how these other companies did it, and they all failed. Off the Grid did it differently. They made a AAA game. They brought in real people. They made a good game. But now Sony gets involved. Now Microsoft gets involved, right? Now Bethesda gets involved. And real companies start to make Web3 games. But like you just said, 3, 5, 7-year development cycle per AAA game.
Right, but they now probably feel a lot more confident about being able to make these type of games with the administration doing everything they are with crypto now and being more open to it, being more mainstream. So maybe those big companies will get into it, and I think that's going to be bullish for crypto overall. Big A says most Web3 games are about spending money to make money. Off the Grid is the first game that's just a fun, free game that you can make money from. Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't like the idea of play to win. Play to win never works. Maybe sometimes, but usually it doesn't work. Adroid Arrow says, also these NFT games just drop the assets as NFTs before the game is made. Make the game first, please. I agree with that because it feels like a money grab. It's the same as dropping a token before you have the product.
Yeah, because here's how it goes, right? Put out a mint. Let's call it $100 mint. Everybody that gets in, let's say 1,000 people, right? 1,000 mints. It's probably what? 600 people that minted 1,000?
Yep.
Maybe 400? Maybe like most people probably minted 2.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, all right. So people come in, they mint 1,000. There's still no game. They got to wait two years for a game, even from a shitty company, right? Look at like Illuvium. They still haven't released a fucking game. And that game was garbage when I even looked at it. But, you know, so yeah, like what Adrela was talking about is like that's what I said before. You come out, you mint, you stake the NFT away, you get passive income, and then people get bored, they give the developer a hard time, and they rug pull and they leave.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Basically.
Like that's
Web3 gaming.
Yep. You know, it's sad, bro. It's sad.
News Now says all the tower building games like Epico are just a rip of Clash of Clans. I thought there was some other game they said it was a rip off of. Some tower defense game that was real popular. I don't think it was Clash of Clans, but I don't remember what it was because I don't play those games. I play Marvel Snap.
And you can listen. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with taking inspiration from a game, right? Making a MOBA or a shooter game.
Right.
But if you look at that games.gg website, they don't even try to hide it. Like if they're ripping off Fortnite, they use the same font, the same color scheme. The fact that if people look at it, they think it's Fortnite, and they're like, "Oh, I got debated." You know, it's not really Fortnite. But then like, "Oh, well, since I'm here anyway, let me click on it since it caught my attention." You know what I mean? Like it's such a fucking scummy way to do things. You know?
It's the same way people make the fake meme coins and they make like a fake Doge and put it on Solana, and then they rug pull it. I mean, it's just copying off of the name recognition, really. All right, let's move on to our next topic, our last topic of the night, our crypto topic.
Oh boy.
All right, hopefully we don't, my computer doesn't crash again. So far, it's looking all right. And of course, the big news in crypto today is the big old crypto crash. The crypto market has lost $150 billion in the last 24 hours. Selling pressure is everywhere. Liquidity is drying up. Even after all this, tons and tons of the bullish news, the most bullish news that crypto's ever had. I mean, it's kind of blowing my mind here, and we're going to talk about why. Here's one person who says why. One reason is because uncertainty. Let's see, rising bond yields and Fed hawkishness, which doesn't make sense to me right now during this administration. But he also says liquidations and over-leveraged longs are getting wiped out, which that does make sense. But there's a lot of people who believe this. It's a market manipulation. So a lot of people think that This is either the rich elites getting into crypto and purposely pushing that price down so they can buy for lower, or some people say it's the exchanges doing it, although I don't exactly know why the exchanges would do it. So, I mean, why do you think crypto's crashing right now, Mo? Some say it's the tariffs. That's another one.
I would say Trump.
Yeah.
I think Trump and some of the, again, decisions with him, again, buddying with Putin over, some common sense. Is just keeping the world in uncertainty, man. Listen, man, the world events always dictate these fucking economic times, right? Like you can't have people that are waking up safe making crypto money every day if the fucking world might go to World War III. Like it just doesn't seem like that would make sense to me,
Right, yeah, I guess, but I feel like nothing really that major has happened. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about things, but nothing has actually happened. Usually it'll have to be something with an oil producing country for it to really make a big difference in the stock market. But it's not only crypto, it is the stock market too. So it must be that. It must be the uncertainness that people are feeling right now. Big A says Fed hawkishness, as in they are still in QT trying to get inflation in check, not in QE. Quality, what's Q2 and QE? QT and QE, Bo? Oh, I'm dumb. I'm not sure what it means. Quality, ugh. Big A, you're smarter than us, bro. You can't be using jargon we don't know. We're noobs, bro. We're noobs. We're NFT dudes. We're NFT bros. We're not crypto bros.
I'm doing like Codex. Yeah. Well, either way.
But he's right that they are trying to get inflation in check. However, is going in the opposite direction. Inflation is going up. I mean, Trump said that on day one he would bring prices down on day one. I mean, how has that worked out for you? He hasn't even tried to bring prices. He's done nothing to bring prices down. Prices have gone up. Eggs are at an all-time high. I don't understand why eggs are such a pivotal item when it comes to all this. That's what everybody talks about, eggs. But it's not just eggs.
Gotta have eggs, man. Gotta have your eggs. Gotta have eggs, bacon, sausage.
They are good for you. I had eggs today, actually. Eggs and bacon, but not sausage. Quantitative tightening as opposed to quantitative easing. Okay. And I heard those terms before. I'm not going to act like I know what they are. I mean, if I had a tiny little bit of understanding, I would be able to pretend like I know what they are. I don't. But yeah.
Well, the tightening, like you keep saying, the tightening is trying to get in check. The easing is when we have things in check and we can kind of, let our waistband out a little bit and try to have some fun. But right now, we got to tighten up, And listen, here's the thing. A lot of stuff that he's doing is what I told you from the get-go. Like, it's not things that are going to fix it overnight because you can't. You can't fix things overnight. But what you can do, especially when it comes to the tariffs and the threats and everything like that, is that you either force people to play fairly with us in the trade game, or they come back to the USA and they build here. And that's not going to happen overnight either. I mean, that might not even happen by the time his administration's over, which is unfortunate, Right. If some of these companies that move back here to, avoid the tariffs and, build cheaper in the USA, by the time they come back here and get their plants back, and maybe they still have the plant, probably not, like that just takes a while. But I mean,
a year or two. And I did see where Apple announced that they were getting ready to build a new facility in America to avoid the tariffs. But I feel like that's an inside job because the Apple CEO, along with Amazon CEO and all these other CEOs, all these oligarchs were there whenever he got sworn in, when Trump got sworn in. I feel like they're all working together, so I don't trust anything that comes out of them. That was probably the plan all along. DLC says the bird flu BS, though, that's causing prices on eggs.
It's kind of true. That I talk to so many people, especially from the West Coast, that are like always talking about that shit. I'm like, yep, not really a thing here, obviously, but
yeah, I know that Biden administration had to kill a whole bunch of chickens because of the bird flu, and then of course the Trump people are saying, oh, he did that on purpose to hurt Trump and egg prices. But I mean, I don't know. No way to know for sure, but I doubt he would do that for that reason. Big A says basically the Fed is still holding down the economy to keep inflation back to 2%. Once it gets there, they will start easing, such as more and constant rate cuts. Oh yeah, they're talking about rate cuts will be coming soon, but we'll see what happens with the economy, because like you can see from the stock market and the crypto crash, uncertainty is not a good thing when it comes to these prices. And of course,
that's why I keep wondering, that's why I wonder if this is an economic play from Trump with the Putin stuff. To be like, listen, if I go back with Zelensky and he tries to work with him and he just doesn't want to play ball, then we get no progress and we stay in turmoil. You know what I mean? Whereas this, now it's like the rest of the world is like, oh, well, now USA's playing with fucking Russia. What's next? We're going to join up with China? Like, it's kind of crazy. Which is, again, why I think the markets are reacting the way they are. Because it's just something that we really don't see, you know? And it's weird. I ain't gonna lie. Said it to my boy this morning, man. It's definitely a fucking weird move. But these markets, bro. I hit a max win on my fucking slot for $3,000, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm such a dick, bro. I pulled it out because I always withdraw. You know, I don't like to leave it in there.
Nice.
Took out 2,500. I fucking left it in Solana.
Oh. I mean, it's gone down a little bit. It ain't gone down a ton, has it?
Oh, it's gone down a lot. It's like 20.
Yeah.
It was like 22%. Which, you know, 22% on 2,500. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking 500 down the fucking tubes. Yeah, so that hurt. But yeah, I don't even look at my wallets anymore, dude. I'm so ready to just get. I feel like I've done everything I need to do in crypto. I got the coins that I want to back. I got my bags of Solana. I got my bags of AVAX. I probably want more AVAX, you know? I feel like just day-to-day bullshit is just losing me money.
It is now, especially if you're in the trenches trying to make money on these meme coins. Although there was one that was... Did you see the SBF coin? And like, how did SBF... How was he able to tweet from his account? Well, apparently SBF somehow got a cell phone and made a big, long thread on Twitter from his account talking about government employees being fired. It was really pretty much a pointless tweet. But right after that, this new account emerged. And this new account was verified as a government account. And it was called SBF something. I don't know if you saw this, Mo. And then the SBF government account, which was not SBF's original account, but did have the gray check, so it was verified by Twitter as a government account, started tweeting about how they're going to drop this new meme coin, just like Trump. And of course, everybody knew that was going to be a rug, I'm sure. I saw it at 300K market cap. If I had any Solana, I would have bought it and jumped in and then jumped out. It got all the way up to 6 million market cap. It was the highest I saw it, I think. So that would have been a 20x for me. And then, of course, it rugged.
Yeah, that was probably when I was too busy checking other charts and whatever. I mean, bro, the trenches have been so bad. I mean, I used to trade on hour candles, 15-minute candles, right, for like main stuff, right?
Yep.
I'll usually look at 15s and 5s and confirm the hour candles before I ever buy. But in the trenches, bro, it was so bad with the... I told you, like, at first they would get it out of pump. They would get out of pump.fun. They run it up. They would do like a deb sell. It would bounce back. They'd wait. They'd pump it up again, insider shit, right? And then they rug it. Then it was like, you know what? We'll give it 3 minutes out of pump.fun and we're going to rug it.
Yep.
Now, like you were saying last week, bro, this shit don't even get out of pump.fun before they start rugging it now. Like, dude, I'm using 15-second candles, 30-second candles now because I have to fucking monitor some of these coins. And I made some good money on some of them, but I got my ass handed to me. Setting up a new bot cost me like $1,000. Because I thought it set up right. It worked the first time. And then I realized that if I didn't... I had to set up like multiple auto cells in case one failed.
Right.
And that was like that was like the fail safe, that little trick I learned. But other than that, I got fucking wrecked on a shit ton of coins. And then the one that bailed me out was called Anglerfish. Did you see that one?
No.
Because it was that I've been telling my girl, my boy, and people, I'm like, listen, meme coins were nothing more than like a news story now. If you wake up, you check the news, what's like the pop-in story, just go buy the meme coin. Wait for the fucking hype to die out in an hour, 3 hours, and get the fuck out, right? Like, but I bought this one coin called Anglerfish, and I made some money off it, and a lot of times, as soon as it doubles up, I'll sell off a third, which is 66% of what I bought from originally. So I'll double up, sell up a third, and then it crashed, and I let it go. And out of nowhere, people decided to fucking revive the coin because, like, they were like, oh, in the moment of darkness of crypto, we're the light, like the anglerfish that died floating to the surface. Bro, the story was so fucking crazy. But then I'm like, wait a second. I still own some of this coin.
Oh, nice.
So I went back
so
to
you held a moon bag back.
Yeah, I went back to my wallet, bro, and it was up to like $400. I was like, damn, this shit like fucking 50x. It was fucking crazy. I didn't have that much left in there. But it like fucking 50x from where I had left it at. And I caught it right at the top again. So I set up an auto sell. I was like, all right, if it loses support here on the first way down, I was like, sell half, fuck it. And of course, it fucking crashed within the hour. I sold half, and now it continues to crash. I'll keep it in there. But yeah, that was like a fun little coin. I was like, oh, that's like the news story of the day, and I bought it.
Yeah, I remember people talking about the anglerfish, so it makes sense that he turned that into a meme coin. Shout out to Thanu in the chat. What's up, Thanu? Big A says Solana's down 44% in the past 30 days. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it pumped a lot whenever Trump dropped his own meme coin on the Solana blockchain. Here goes news down marijuana with some Russian propaganda. Says the reason the price of eggs is so high is because the Biden administration put down 1 million chickens a couple months ago. Yeah, I was just saying that. People that think that are incorrect, and if you want to look it up right here, I mean, you can just research it. And it says these killings are required by the Department of Agriculture to contain the spread of the highly contagious avian flu that has affected 100 million birds since 2022, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation. It ain't Biden just going and killing chickens, bro. It's scientists and people who understand how this works, virologists and stuff, that decided that this was what needed to be done in order to protect the population.
Californian virologist. If you came to Kentucky, Indiana, you go there, they could be like, man, feed them chickens out back. I got that shit.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yep. You ain't wrong. DLC says, I don't hold any crypto long term right now other than Bitcoin, everything else long and shorts, and keep your diapers on and don't leave your trades if you do. Don't leave your trades leave your site. I got you.
Set up trade bots. Like, I had to learn that fucking lesson, dude. Oh my god.
Limits. I wish I did leverage trading, but I mean, I don't have enough capital for that. But if I would probably do something like long Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea right now, but I think Bitcoin being this cheap is probably the smartest play if you're going for long-term purchases right now. But the big news in the VV community, we got about 10 minutes left, is of course the VVverse. Everybody's excited about the VVverse dropping. Here's the original tweet announcing it. It says that it's February 28th. See, I thought they were going to drop it on February 30th, which doesn't exist because it's never going to come out. I thought it wasn't coming until 2030, but no. Apparently, the minimum viable product, which means an exciting first look, so I guess not the full product, I don't know, is dropping on February 28th. And I think we talked about it last week, but we found out that there's going to be premium VVverse access, which I don't know what the difference between free access to the VVverse and premium access is. I would like to know the difference. I think they should tell that to us, but apparently you're going to have to pay for premium access to the VVverse. And then we'll look at some videos.
We said that.
Grow your own food and don't use USDA. Don't let USDA touch it. I mean, kind of, sort of, yeah. But on the other hand, you get a lot of diseases growing your own food. I mean, what if some mosquito or some bee comes by and lands on your food and it's got some virus on its leg? You don't have any type of FDA to make sure that this is good to eat. That's like the same as people drinking all the raw milk because they think it's healthier. Keep drinking it, find out what happens, bro. Drink some raw milk, find out what happens.
Yeah, no, that ain't really.
It's not smart.
But see, here's the thing, though, right? And you'll see like people that are farmers and shit like that. They'd be like, "Well, sure, I can drink that. I drink it 7 times a day." Well, it's like, of course, because you've been doing it since you were a fucking newborn baby, probably drinking raw milk from your mom. And you build up these fucking immunities, right? Like, bro, like, I don't know about you, but here in New York, we used to have these creeks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we had creeks.
We would go barefoot in the fucking creek, bro. And I'm talking like there was glass in there. We used to get cut up and all sorts of crazy shit. Where like today, I'd be like, I ain't going in there.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially in New York.
Yeah, but like, we just grew, antibodies and shit to that stuff, man. Like, we never got sick or anything from it. Like, this just, that's why I don't like air purifiers. I don't like, these kids that you keep them like in a bubble. You know?
Yeah, that's...
Because like, you let them outside the house and they can't stop sneezing. Their fucking eyes are watering. They're fucking wheezing. Like, you have to expose these kids to something when they're kids. They're not gonna ever fucking be able to grow to handle it. My opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
I always felt the same way when I was growing up. I always felt that like I didn't worry about getting dirty, eating dirt or whatever. It's all about getting a little bit of some of those germs in your body so that you have some resistance to it in the future. Rewind 2001.
With needles, like I would be like, oh, here's a used needle on the ground. Let me get an antibody to that. Like, no, I'm not gonna. That's not gonna grow any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But,
shout out to Rewind 2001 is in the chat. Says no racing in the VVverse yet. This is the minimal viable product. What's nice is they got rid of all the NDAs for the early beta testers, so we have a little bit more footage of the VVverse, which we'll check out here in a second. News now says that's why Dems don't want Doge to search Fort Knox because of them eggs. Apparently, Biden hid all the eggs in Fort Knox.
Imagine that, bro. There's no gold. It's just fucking rooms full of chicken.
There's a room full of eggs. Egg price is about to crash. Grandma Moore says, I work for the USDA. I would not let them touch it. I mean, I'm sure there's some bad people in the USDA and some good people too. I don't know that much about it. But if you work for them, you probably know more about it than I do. So I will take your advice on that. I ain't not letting them touch my food if I have the option. Unfortunately, I ain't got the option. Let's look at some videos that were made by people who have early access to the VVverse. This is some stuff I ain't never seen yet. We'll watch it together. I'll try to keep the volume to a good level. You leave me. Yeah, get the volume to a 0 level. Okay. Let me back this up. So this is Straight, one of the OGs, one of my homies, Straight's VVverse, and you can see the fish already flying around, which is kind of weird. And I don't know what this is up at the top with the words. So it looks like he just started this with like a blank space and created himself. How are you feeling about it, Mo? What do you think about the VVverse? Is it impressive? Is it something you're going to use?
It's something. I will absolutely use it.
Whoa, look at that hair.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think finally, like, it's about freaking time.
It is about freaking time. It's a bit late, but it is finally here. I just want to know, I mean, is there anything that I'm even going to utilize? Because I don't have time to sit around creating some... What is this? I don't have time to sit here and create these monstrous creations that these people have been putting together. Here's another one. This one looks pretty cool. So this is probably what I would make, like some type of mansion or a house. It's probably got some music to it, but we ain't be listening to that. And I do like the fact that finally after 4 years, 3 years, we can display our comics in some way. You'll be able to put the covers up like they're giant posters. You can see people doing it. So never before in our app showrooms have we been able to do that. And I know a lot of people are big comic book collectors, so that's going to be, I guess, exciting for them. Would it be exciting for me if I still had my original ones? I had those ones that I talk about all the time, the House of X Secret Rare and the Powers of X Secret Rare, where if you put those two together, it creates this big giant picture. I think prices for stuff like that are going to go up because people are going to want to create that collage in their VVverse. Here's one from Tales from the Rizzo. He puts a whole lot of effort into his stuff, a lot of time into it, so keep in mind that's Tales from the Rizzo, not Tales from the Crypto.
Tales from the Rizzo.
So he's saying this is a film recreation. Let's see if we can figure out what film they're trying to... Oh, never mind. Now, how did he make that Batman logo? And then, like, how does this work where you can make your guy move? I know they said you can make, like, macros. So you're going to be able to make macros to where maybe you could put your character on a hoverboard and give them the same macro at the same time, where it looks like they're flying the hoverboard. Kind of seeing what he's doing here. I didn't watch the Batman movie, so I don't know how accurate this is. Biggest Bro says Straight is the man. Straight is the man. I like Straight. So apparently Catwoman was sneaking up on Penguin. He gonna play this whole movie? I don't remember the Knight Rider being in the Batman movie, but it's possible. I don't know what vehicle that is. Alright, so this is some stuff that you can create in the VVverse. I think he's just doing some more theatrical stuff here than it is showing off the things you can do. Let's see if we can find another one. Oh, I think this is another recreation. This is Psycho. Here, let me show you this. Mo, you're gonna like this. Even though it's from one of my least favorite people. This dude named Captain Era posted this today. David Yu retweeted it. Let me take the sound out. He made the Simpsons house.
The Simpsons.
Exactly. Yo, I wonder how much work that took. That's kind of cool. Shout out to Rewind says they need to display the mints. I thought you could. Somebody asked about that on Twitter and everybody was like, yeah, you can display the mints, but I don't see any mints displayed on any of this stuff. So you would think then, yeah, you would be able to. Now, they used to talk about back in the day that you would have to be at a particular MCP level or MCP rank in order to unlock that feature to where you can show your edition numbers in your showrooms. But that never came to fruition. I thought it might be a VVverse thing, but I don't see any edition numbers right now. I agree. Mints matter. 100%. Big A says that VVverse is cool and a net positive, but not sure the average user will spend a lot of time in it. Not really a metaverse. No central public stage. That one change of adding one would be huge. I agree. So, I mean, like, if everybody had their own spaces and then you could travel between one space to another space, that's more of a metaverse. But this is more of like I'm gonna load into Mo's space, we'll hang out and see what he's got, then we'll log off, then we'll load up and load into my space and see what I got, and then we'll log off. So not really a metaverse. Like Big A says, it'd be nice if you had a central public place, but at least we're gonna have some interactivity, because I have seen some videos of the VVverse that show multiple people in a showroom. And as me and Mo have talked about, we want to live stream from the VVverse one day. So it seems like that might be a possibility, but it might be with the paid premium version. Daniel C says, VVverse wasn't ever my thing anyway, but I showed my daughter, who's a big Sims and Minecraft kid, and she actually seemed interested in it. Yeah, people like Mo. Mo likes creating worlds and stuff. Do you think you'll spend some time creating stuff in here, Mo?
Well, yeah, I was going to mention, I don't want to cut you off, but the Simpsons house is a perfect example of using simple geometry to create objects, right? And people do it on like racing games. The old Forza used to be able to create like these what they call like libraries, like the car wraps of the graphics or whatever, called like a library, I think.
Oh, right.
Library. And you made like the craziest, coolest, high density graphics by using basic shapes. And it looks like what they did here. So now again, probably can't walk inside of it. It's probably a bunch of weird geometry that's all sticking through each other. But from the outside looking in, it looks like a Simpsons house, right? So that's actually pretty cool. And this is what I would probably spend most of my time doing. Is I would be using basic shapes to create, objects like this, whether it be races or, mazes or some sort of like fun thing to do. Like I love like my grapple courses on Fortnite. That was like what I was known for on the creative. That's what made me all my money. So if they allow something like that where I can create like a grapple gun to the guy's hand and start doing Spider-Man shit around the map, that'd be sick.
That would be pretty sick, actually. Somebody put some hydraulics on their Ecto one. I don't think I approve of that. Adriel says, I can barely get it to load on my computer. I got to upgrade my raggedy computer. That's going to be another problem, too. Yeah, you're going to have a decent computer in order to even participate in the VVverse. Stan's impressed by it, though. I mean, it's better than what we got on the app right now. It's going to take a lot of time and effort in order to create cool showrooms out of your collectibles. However, you do have the ability to hire somebody who is like a showroom creator. Maybe somebody like Tales from the Rizzo or Falcon. You can pay them, I don't know, $100, 20 gems. I have no idea, but they do have the ability to come into your space as a creator and then build out your showroom for you if you don't want to put the time into it. If you're somebody like me that does not want to put the time into it. So you're going to be able to make some cool stuff. Here's just a picture of the type of shells people are making, which is way, way better than what we were doing in our showroom when we were backing up our DeLoreans and using whatever those things on the back of the DeLorean are sticking out of the wall as our shelves. Now we actually have real shelves. We have houseplants. I've been wanting houseplants forever. I don't know why. It's been kind of a meme for years now. We have houseplants. Rewind says it's a start. Need to continue to add utility and add reasons to load/go to your VVverse, or it's a fad that eventually dies out. You gotta have something to do in there. Absolutely. We need some type of gamification. I don't think that's going to happen unless users create it yourself. So we got to have, I don't know, you got to do something that's going to bring us back. What's going to bring me back to the VVverse? If it's some type of interactivity, maybe people are running their Twitter spaces through the VVverse or their YouTube live streams for the VVverse. That helps a little bit. There's something to do there. Maybe they're playing some type of trivia games. I don't know, but you got to,
Well, what was my idea, right? We talked about this ages ago. If they did a drop lobby, like the drops are at 11 a.m., right?
Yep.
10:30 a.m., they open up the drop lobby. Everybody in BB gets to run into this lobby. And when the timer goes off, like 15 minutes before the drop, it's every man for themselves. And you're running to the top of the tower. And whoever gets to the the first 100 get a guaranteed whitelist.
I like that, but I don't think they have the capacity to do that. There's probably going to be a limit of
course they do.
5 or 10 people that can be in a space at a time.
Oh, you mean the capacity of people?
Yeah.
Because they could definitely give away like whitelist spots or allow list.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I don't think you can. I don't think you're gonna be able to put that many people. If there's like 1,000 people going for this drop, there's no way they're gonna get 1,000 people into one space.
Okay, or you can split it into, let's say, 1,000 people going for the drop. You have 10 lobbies of 100.
That'd be cool.
And the first person from every lobby that gets to the top first gets in a guaranteed allow list. Again, something. Or me and you can do it. Allow everybody in from chat, and we give away something.
We create a maze or something. Yeah.
Right, it's a maze. Or I was thinking like trivia tower.
Oh, right.
So every floor has like a trivia question. They get progressively hard. Think of it like the Mortal Kombat tower. Remember, like when you're playing the Mortal Kombat arcade game against a computer?
Yep, towers.
Yep, and you're going up the tower. Something like that. But yeah, you can do trivia. Again, you can have like battle royale, work your way up to the top.
It's that type of stuff that's going to bring people back into the VVverse, and that's what they need, something for us to do. Big A says Mo still has some of his Fortnite videos on his channel. Check him out. Mo has created some really cool maps in Fortnite. I'm going to show my kid. He's behind me. I don't know if he's listening, but he would be interested in that. Biggest Bro says they're
going to check my channel, though. It's all the bigger Fortnite YouTubers that covered it. Just type in Mo's Grapple Course. So the top one has like millions upon millions of views. I dropped the ball on that, by the way.
What's it called again? Mo's what?
Mo's Grapple Course.
Grapple Course. Got you. Biggest Bro says they're going to have easy templates that are more drag and click, which is a much better experience than it was originally. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they implement this whole cavernous template. And you're going to be able to like just have your own, you just put a house there. Click the house, put the house, you got a house. You don't have to build the house. Ronnie Lido's enjoying that idea. What's up, Ronnie Lido? Good to see you in the chat, my man. We're about to end the stream. Daniel C says, I think users would create simple games in their own spaces. I agree too, but I think Vivi needs to create good games also. But doubt we will see a battle royal game or even a race game. We got to have racing. I think Vivi has to build that though. Biggest Bro says the cap is 30 in a space right now. Oh, thank you. A little bit of alpha. So 30, that's still quite a bit. I mean, we don't get 30 people in here during Tales from the Crypto. We could do Tales from the Crypto from the VVverse and have everybody.
It would be tight right now. We only have room for 2 more capacity.
Oh, yeah?
1 more capacity. Yeah, we're at 27. And then me and you would be 29. So I'm just, we would be able to fill that space. And but that would be cool. You know what I mean? And again, we could, I think someone's a scavenger hunt, right? Biggest Bro. Where it's like, we put, I hide an America Chavez collectible somewhere in the, Tales from the Crypto, weekly, map or whatever.
Right.
And as me and you were doing the shows, people walking around and they're engaged. Maybe drop a hint or something along the way, help people find it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you're in charge of building the Tales from the Crypto place.
Oh, I'm all over it. Yeah, I already told you, man. I got ideas for fucking days, bro.
Let's go. Stanley says the question is why did
the vault?
What's that?
Between you and the vault, and me in the fucking graveyard, and the whole skeleton fucking theme, we're good.
Oh yeah, I hope we have like some type of default vault, some type of vault that you can click and use as an asset in the VVverse. That'd be dope.
I'm gonna make it.
Oh yeah. The question is, why did they delay this? Can you imagine if this dropped last year? That would have had max interest, not last year, but 2 years ago, or just the timeline they gave us in the first place at DesignerCon 2021. Why did they delay it? The reason they told us for delaying it, the reason I heard officially from the team, although I didn't ever hear it repeated, was that they still need to digitize a bunch of the assets, which is wild to me because whenever they gave us that timeline in 2021, they should have known right then. How did they not know that they were going to have to digitize 2 years worth of assets? They didn't realize that. So none of their stories ever make sense when it comes to VV.
The thing about VV though is that it kind of makes sense because that was something that's so easy to recognize that it probably went right over their heads.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
You think so?
Well, that's why Ben Rose is there. If David would have been able to handle simple shit like that, they wouldn't have had to bring in, the Ben Rose guy.
Might be right. Biggest Bro says scavenger hunts, chess, tag. What about mazes? I think it'd be easy to make a maze. Yeah, all these default walls. I used to like making mazes on paper back in the day. That might be my thing. I might make mazes. They're gonna call me Maze Vault. Appreciate you.
That was my thing in elementary school. I used to draw these cool, like they look like brains. I would do like crazy. I'll send you one. I actually have some I've drawn recently, but they're like these crazy, like look like brain mazes, right? They're massive. They're hard to do. I would do them on like the door of my classroom on a big piece of paper, and my teacher would leave them there for like a year. That was like my thing in in elementary school. I was like the maze. I was the maze guy.
That's kind of cool. You do that in elementary. That's pretty early to be doing that kind of cool stuff. Big A says you're out there in a scavenger hunt and you find Mo's American Chavez doll and you're like, oh, why is this doll so sticky?
Huh?
I'm just reading the chat. Ronnie Lido
says, listen, you know the answer to that.
You know the answer. Does anyone know if the VVverse has the ability to support a wormhole effect, like walking through a doorway that teleports you somewhere else? You have to ask some of the people with early access. Believe it or not, I was not one of the people to get early access, even if it's within
Me neither.
Personal VVverse. Sticky means it's fresh. I think it means the opposite of that. Yeah, you're probably right about that. He's a visionary for sure. Not sure if Krusty is. All right, it's about time to end the live stream, y'all. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Mo, what you got planned for this week? Anything special?
Well, for starters, I'm going to try not to put my foot in my mouth with PFL again. That was That was awkward. If anybody
about
caught
that.
that stream last week, that was fun. I might have caught a little bit of an earful on that. Thankfully, they don't watch this show. But obviously, I still love PFL. I think it's the greatest thing ever made when it comes to Web3 gaming and like simulation. So, still doing that. We got a big week coming up, Derby week next week.
Nice.
But yeah, man. Outside of that, brother. What about you? What do you got going on?
I don't even know if I should. All right, let me see what y'all think about this. I know we're trying to wrap up here, but I have this idea of creating my own business. And I was gonna say, now that crypto is becoming mainstream, and it's all the Trump people are learning about crypto, where I set up appointments, and I go to a person's house, charge them $100, takes an hour or two, and I teach them about crypto, how to set up a wallet, how to stay away from scams and stuff. Do you think that's a viable business idea?
Honestly, it's brilliant. And I think it would be even better if at the end of it, you just rug pulled them for all their money.
I knew somebody was going to say that. I know they're going to think that the whole point of me is to get them to buy my bags, but that's not. I don't even have bags right now. That's not the plan. I'm not going to tell them to buy OMI tokens. I promise you. I might introduce them to Vivi. There's something there. However, I think that would be cool because I think there's a lot of people that are interested in crypto, but they're scared of it. And if you had a one-on-one, in-person teaching, that might be make them a little more comfortable with it.
No, I mean, honestly, if I was you, I'd probably look into that, man. Because like, once we get, some sort of regulation or whatever and clarity on this whole thing, I mean, that could very easily be, some good money.
I know. I'm thinking about trying to do that. I don't know. That might be what I work on this week, trying to put that together. Maybe try to get a business license, because you can't even talk about anything that's on crypto on Facebook. Like, I can't advertise that business on Facebook unless I have a business license, because people have such a bad perception of crypto. That's just written in the rules of Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, because I was going to advertise it and see, if I had any bites about it or anything. I brought up this whole thing and made a flyer, and they're like, no, it's crypto. You can't do crypto unless you're actually incorporated, or if you actually have a business license. And I guess you have to have a business ID or something. Good thing you're still in America, where you still have the ability to start a business. I mean, you can do that in a lot of countries, but you're right. America is one of the best places for it. I also wondered if I could get like a small business loan for that. I don't know. Girl Moore says you cannot hold classes and have several students. I want to go to their house, just one student at a time. You could. That's true. You could do it that way. If I had enough clientele, I'd move to that, and then I'm really making some money. Figay says Cavell starting crypto courses. Check his latest videos. He legit was making videos about him learning about crypto like 8 months ago. Now he's an expert. He's had like a paid group that a lot of people say did a lot of pump and dumping for years. So I'm surprised that now he's like, okay, crypto. I guess it's a whole new thing. I'm surprised anybody even buys crypto courses from random YouTubers like that. But I see people trying to sell them all the time.
Does anybody have a wallet for Cavell that I can look into? If anybody's got one, DM it to me. I'd be curious.
I've got his Vivi wallet. Oh, I do. I've got all his
Like
wallets. I've got 2 or 3 of his wallets, actually.
Really? All right, well,
hit me
talk.
up.
Because I'd be curious to see what these professionals are up to nowadays. Like I said, if people aren't stacking certain types of coins, man, like, I don't know. I still think, like, people, like, you're going to buy Bitcoin at this fucking price? Like, I'm not. Like, people out there like,
yeah, I like the idea of starting DCA right now. $100 every week, Bitcoin.
Sure, $100, fine. But am I going to take all my, like, let's say, Trump coin profits or Solana profits from back in the day and dump it and convert it to Bitcoin?
Right.
Hell no.
No.
A little bit. Like I said, a little bit here. Yeah, diversify, right? They got a little bit of ETH. They got a little bit of Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, I'm in business,
Right.
If it stays in the 100, 200K range, I mean, I double up. Congratulations.
And that's it's not, there's better opportunity out there. But then again, the riskier stuff, you have a more chance of losing your money too. So always keep that in mind.
Oh, 100%, and not financial advice. But I think you, me, a lot of these people in chat, we've been around long enough to be like, listen, some things are just under fucking valued,
Yeah.
And we know by now when, networks start taking off and burns start happening, right? Like, utility starts to come into play, which is going to be the whole next, run. I meant to tag you actually in that, I think Ian was the one that, I know we got to go, but Ian tweeted the pump.fun coin graph or whatever of like the ones that are getting graduated now and shit.
Yeah.
It's down so much, thank God. Where it might be like, finally we've seen the end of the meme coin cycle,
I don't know if I believe that, but I think
utility.
Pump Fun is dying finally.
Well, right, but they're the main driver of the meme coin thing, so it's like, if they go away or they quiet down, then we kind of get back to, you know,
Or Meteora
utility
takes
coin.
over.
Yeah, I just hope that whoever takes over, I hope at least, like I said, utility coins and gaming coins and stuff, you know, when that starts to run, that's what I would be stacking, me personally. But
All right, guys, about to end the live stream. But we are going to be live again next week, next Tuesday, every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and MoKnowz go live for our Tales from the Crypto live stream. And next week we have a really cool paranormal or conspiracy theory topic to talk about. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that. If not, I will be live this weekend for any VV drops that happen to go down. Hopefully we have a good one. And hopefully I can get some gems because I lost them all on Saturday's drops. But I will be live either way. Mo, thank you for co-hosting with me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for everybody who participated in the chat as well. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Mo. Everybody have a great week.
peace.
Later, guys. All right, let's check the prices one more time. Then we're going to end the stream. I think Arcade might be going live today. Think about that. Saw him in the chat. He usually goes live around this time. On Sundays. Sorry, that's tomorrow. My bad. All right, so you can see that
You're still
William
here.
and Johnny Dunn will be on the floor at 2100. Ultra rares.
It's
were
over.
175 last time we
Go
checked.
home.
About 155.
Oh, you're
They'll stay above
expecting a
100.
teaser for
The next VV
But
drop.
like,
Well, we don't
yeah,
have that kind of
plus
money.
100 rares. We're at 33.
You
Last time I
expecting
checked, they were
Sam
up a little
Jackson
bit.
show up with
It's
an
only 600
eye
or
patch
something
and
of those.